Hey everyone, it's your girl Saucey Brown. I noticed y'all noticed the background different. Yes, I am home, y'all. I came home yesterday and I had all my tubes, the drainage tube taken out yesterday. So this is my first full 12 hours without the tube draining out of me. They told me I still had pneumonia, but I've had enough antibiotics, and they only gave me one more pill version. Well, so I was on antibiotics for 5 days. So I'm sure these next 2 days of antibiotics will be fine. I feel a lot better. Still a little short on breath, but feel a lot better. I was so happy they told me I could finally come home. And I know y'all saying, "Yeah, no, you ain't got no hair to. You got your hair done." No, this is a wig. I am the queen of wigs, y'all. Every time you see me in something, most of the time, if I haven't sewn in, that's a wig. I've been doing hair for 20, almost 30 years. Actually, I have been doing it for 30, so I can always flip up a different hairdo, and you'll always see one. Now that Saucy is going to be doing dual shows, I'm still going to be doing the animation because that's what I'm known for and that's what I love to do. But I also want to journey my gastric bypass as well as my back surgery. Because I've had them both before, and this time I had them together, and it was a lot different. And I decided to go live and talk because I wanted women, men, just people to know that this journey is not an easy one. But I did have the gastric bypass in 2000, and I did it successfully for almost 20 years until I had the back surgery and and of course the pandemic, and I gained almost 100 pounds, and I had back surgery, and it messed up my back rods that I had just had surgery on. So I was basically bedridden. That's when I started the channel with Saucy as an animation. Being bedridden and just kind of like seeing life go before me, and kind of got depressed for a while. So when I created the Saucey Brown animation character, it was a way to bring myself out of big, dark depression that I saw myself slipping in and couldn't believe that me, someone so full of confidence and just a real energetic, real people, I'm not people person, because I'm really not, but a person that like to, just live life. And so the animation helped me do that, live life. And it would be days where some of you that have been with me from the beginning would know people would pick at how my animations sound, and not knowing that it was a very disabled, very crippled woman who was learning how to sometimes talk and walk and just control life again. And those days when I would have people come on the underneath the animation and said, why you sound like that? Why you talk like that? You know, it hurt. It hurt because it was a painful reminder of just how um, my life had changed. And I was no longer that independent, strong, in my eyes, beautiful, um, sexy woman. And then I had those people that would even get on there and say, you're catfishing, knowing that that picture on my Saucey was only September of 2019, you know. So you went from that to now you're looking like this. It hurt. It was difficult, but it got me to a place where I decided I want to live life again. And I fought having the surgeries again until October of this year. I had, knew I had to get the back redone, but I did not want to have the gastric bypass done again. But I had a hole in my stomach that forced me, kind of like my hand, to make the decision to go in and do it again. And I didn't actually this time have the gastric bypass, so to speak. I had a revision, but with the revision, the doctor went in and found that there was a ring from 20 years ago in me, which was, they were basically out loud now and with the gastric bypass procedure. But the stomach had, old stomach that was still up inside of me, had grown back and grown over the ring and grown back into the new pouch that I had. So this surgery that I had was a revision, but it took a work turn, and it took a turn that I'm glad that when it happened that I was planning on showing the road back from gastric bypass, because that's something that they don't tell you. I never would have thought that that there would be a need for a revision, or because I was small. I was small enough that I want to be, but that the revision, that my old stomach could go back. One, I knew that my new pouch could stretch, but no one ever told me, and I think that's a lot of things that reason why I kind of like wanted to do this, because I wanted people to know that, you have these surgeries, you have this gastric bypass, and I see so many people doing it, but not with the knowledge. Even with the class that we had, I asked to go to the class because I wanted to see what were they teaching now. And when I had my surgery the first time, they let the scare the daylights out of you. They tell you the truth, though. And with this class, I noticed they didn't tell people about, dumping. They kind of like went over it, like, oh, it's just like a little lightheadedness. No, you pass out. You scare the daylight out of your family. Dumping is very severe. It psychologically drains you. And I felt like that was something that they didn't tell people. And I'm watching the ladies and the gentlemen that was in my class, and they were just like so gone to have the surgery and had no idea of any of that stuff. And, for me to have had a ring, and for that thing to have, my old stomach to have grown over it and reattached to my new pouch. So I'm sitting there with a hole in my stomach in the new pouch, but it wasn't really noticeable to me. I mean, it was noticeable. Yes, it was noticeable, but it wasn't really when you have under the stomach, the toxins, because I had already a whole new stomach had grown back, which was the original stomach. So it had stomach acids in it, stomach gases, and everything. So it was almost like I had two stomachs going at once. And that's very dangerous. And for, you know, no one to have ever told me that this could happen to me um, was eye-opening. And this past 2 weeks I've been in the hospital, a lot of complications, But it was because of all the things that they had to do. And the doctor told me that he had to actually take that old stomach out. So now I can't have a revision or anything. I mean, this is it. Thank God I'm old. But this is it. And so I think people need to know these things. And I want it to be, you know, open and just clear, because I notice a lot of young girls are having this surgery. And I wasn't fairly young when I had mine. I was in my 30s. So, but I got to live a really good life with it. So, and I let it work for me for most of that time. Didn't really add back in sugars and, you know, alcohol and all of that stuff that they tell you can't have till like maybe 10, 15 years into having my surgery. So, but now, like I was saying, I was in the class and I just wanted to kind of get a synopsis of what they were teaching in the class. And like I said, I watched how the people were so excited. They were so on fire to have it. And I wasn't going to damper anybody's, you know, damn big Debbie Downer sitting back there. But I just kind of listened to what they were saying and the people's reasoning for having it. And most of it was cosmetic. Most of it was low self-esteem. And I recognized that stuff, even with someone that thought I had the highest self-esteem, thought I was just but I needed that surgery to boost my ego. And I saw a lot of that. But back when I had my surgery, you had to go to a psychiatrist and actually be seen. This time, I even went to the psychiatrist, y'all. I did it over the phone. So it's like, I'm not saying they don't take it serious. Yes, I am. They're not really taking it serious. And look what I had to go through to revive, to get all that stuff, you know, fixed. And I had one of the best surgeons that ever did it. As a matter of fact, he was over the bariatric doctors of America. And he was actually in his late 70s when he did my surgery. His name was Samuel Cox. He's thus passed. That's why a lot of things that went wrong with mine and all the stuff that they call back, the mesh, the ring, I knew nothing about, because my surgeon was so old when he did my surgery. His practice has been gone for, you know, like, 20, 15 years or more by now. Because it's been over 20 since I had it, so I'm sure it was way longer than that. And when I went to get the information about my surgery now, but the call back, the recalls on the mesh and what actually was in me for this surgery, they couldn't even find it. I had the surgery at Holy Cross, thank God, in Fort Lauderdale, which is where what is his name is the Subway guy had his surgery, and which is Holy Cross is a bariatric hospital, so everything is beds, the walkers, everything is made for, the my 600-pound life type of stuff. They were all going there initially before this new place that they're doing now in Texas. But Holy Cross is still one of the top 2, 3 leading bariatric hospitals that do a lot of the surgeries. But anyway, I got a lot of my information from there, but they didn't have the ring even listed that it was in me. And it wasn't until my surgeon now, Dr. DePerry from Memorial Hospital in Jacksonville, Florida, And that's all they do. It's a bariatric hospital here. But he did not know I had a ring in me until he was actually in the middle of the operation, and a mesh. So the documentation was not even right. So now, um, I'm sure now that they're better at that. But we'll never know. 20 years from now, those people that were in there having surgery with me this time, what complications and what things they're using. Like I said, he took my 2/3 of my old stomach. He had to remove that with the ring, with the mesh. So it's super tight, super tight. But I'm sure I'll do well. I have no doubt because I did my research. First of all, on my doctors, like I did then. I did thorough research because I live in Jacksonville, but I did all the research on all of the doctors in Florida and a couple in Georgia, but I didn't really want to, have to pay out of pocket. So I didn't want to go out of network and have to pay that much out of pocket anyway. Back then, I'm a young mom, doing here, working for myself. So, but the the knowledge that I got this time around was so much less than what I got back then. They really, the counseling, the psychiatrist, you went for weeks, and sat down and talked. You talked about your childhood. You talked about what once you made you want to do that. This last one I took maybe 30 minutes on the phone. And it pained me and it hurt me so much because I had my daughters and my daughter has had it. And my other daughter, a couple of her friends had it. And I wondered why they always came to me with so, wanting to know so much. And I'm like, well, what are your doctors telling y'all? And then I would listen at the stuff that they were telling me, and I'm like, the information that they're giving about this surgery is so incomplete and so dangerous. So I really felt like this is my opportunity to lose my ego, and come out and let these young girls know about this surgery and anyone that wants to talk about it and to get the facts. First of all, research your doctor that is going to do it. Not who's going to pay for it, because if that's the case, you'll end up like me and almost die from a hole, But you need to know. You need to ask questions. And those psychiatric visits, actually go see somebody. A couple of girls that had it with me, they got turned down at first. The psychiatrist said no. And they had to spend more time with the psychiatrist. And I think out of all of us that had it back then, none of us are back big. Well, my situation was totally different, but none of them are back big. They all have productive lives. I still see them. And, all of them, most of them, I had the procedures and what's going on with me. And have been, like my encourager and rooting me on and stuff of that nature. But I just want to make sure that my journey this time around, and now I'm in so much pain, so I'm going to get out there and go take some pain medicine. I didn't get on with y'all yesterday because it was my first day with the drain pulled out, and they don't even put drains in you anymore. And that was the sad part. These girls go home in so much pain. My daughter was in excruciating pain, sick, all nauseated, and it's because they didn't put drain in her. They let all that poison stay inside of her. Thank God, for a mom and wisdom on her behalf and knowing how to research. But that's my day. or today. I'm a little drained with the two things going at once, but I want to say thank you for being a part of my new journey. And I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now is part of the ugly. I'm in a lot of pain right now. So I'm going to take all my medications. It's about that time. So, this has been Salsa with the Sauce. Stirring the sauce, bringing the tea, and thanking all of my well-wishers for being with me. In and bye.